So this is our PEG lab. It's basically the same thing that we did before with a couple differences, okay? So it's mostly going to be a review, a reason to make a part again, a couple different parts again, and to go through the whole process. So if you look at my tree over here, you see it's PEG lab, but the names, I didn't even name it here. But if I go right here, you can see that this is going to be basically what we'll call the PEG. And then down here is this part right there, and that's going to be the ring, you see? So that's what we're doing. Now, we'll go over here and we'll start a new, new physical product. And then we're faced with this. So what do we do now? Well, you could think about all the stuff that we did do, and we did it in a certain order, but think about how, or think about what we changed along the way that maybe now that you know certain things, maybe you'll do other things sooner. And what I'm talking about is this physical product. We know that this is for the PEG lab, so let's go ahead and just name it straight away, okay? And then what next? Come down here, we got assembly, product modification. Those are the two that we've been messing around with. You look down here, and I've got insert new something. Okay, so we come down here and we say insert new 3D part. So I add that. It sits here, doesn't do anything until you click on the name of the assembly, the product. And there is our new part. Now, this is what I was talking about, things that we've learned along the way. Well, we know that we are going to be making another one. Now, let me open this up to kind of things that you'd probably normally do. I've mentioned previously that you would very frequently make the same part or product over and over and over again. Not necessarily because the part wasn't the right shape. It's because as you built it, you realized that organizationally wise in the tree here, you didn't make it the best possible way. So you want to go back and you want to do it again and make it cleaner. So it's pretty normal to do that. In the course of doing that, you now know in this particular assembly what all the pieces are going to be. So instead of just adding one thing and then editing it and making, all the features to it, why don't you go ahead and add yourself in another new 3D part, click on the PEG, now they're both here, okay? And then since these are here, we know that we're making a PEG and a ring. Why don't we go ahead and go to properties, and we'll name this one here PEG. Oops. Shouldn't have left there. So I've got references PEG, but we might as well name the instance. Remember, the instance is the number for this instance in this assembly. So if I were to bring in more of these pegs, it would be peg.1, peg.2, peg.3. Okay, so let's do the same thing over here. References. This one's going to be called ring. And then we'll go over here to the instances tab and we'll swipe that all out and we'll call this one ring again. Okay, so now we've got peg and ring. So you see how this goes a bit smoother once you kind of know what you're doing. Now, before I go any further with this, I want to talk a little bit more about something that goes on with the tree. So I reached up here to resize it. This is just sort of a habit, and the reason I'm telling you this is not because it's hugely important, but it's something that you might do now accidentally, okay? And it could cause you a lot of problems. So here's what I notice. I'm currently in assembly mode, and out of habit, I like to grab the tree here and just sort of move it over around. Sometimes it gets a little close to the edge here, and I just think that in videos or if I'm teaching this that sometimes it's hard to see, so I grab it and I nudge it over. And also, I can make it larger, and so you can zoom into the tree the same way you would zoom into a part. Okay, I know that this is kind of strange for right now. So here's the deal. If you get onto one of these branches right here, and if you click it, it will take the focus away from your world out here, your part that you might have, and put it on the tree. The problem is you might not notice this happening, and then you can't move the part around. The part won't rotate. You try to zoom in and zoom out, and then if you happen to notice, you see, what the heck, my tree is zooming in and out, So at any rate, that's how it works, but I noticed here that in assembly design mode, I got it to do it. It just did it. Okay, now how do I know this? Well, if I were to zoom this in and out, right? But I didn't do that yet. So how did I know? Well, the plane system over here got a little bit dimmer. When it's activated, it'll become a little brighter. So if you notice, I try to rotate this, and all I can do is zoom a little bit, and this disappears. Okay? So now what you need to do is find the branch again and click on it, and then this should brighten back up, and now the focus is back here, okay? What I did notice is sometimes it wasn't working quite right, so just keep trying. I did have a little bit more success bouncing in and out of a part where I could get a branch that was a little bit longer that I could click on. So again, apologies. I know that this is kind of right in the middle of this and it's kind of strange, but if you're opening these things up, and like I said, you're double clicking on one of these to get into part design, and then you're double clicking on this to get back to assembly design, and then you're opening this up to see a thing, it becomes really easy to accidentally miss one of these minus signs and then accidentally click on that branch, and then you go to rotate your part, and the part, uh-oh, what's going on, and why is my tree doing this? Okay, so that's just a little side topic right there on the tree. Once it's here, then I can hold the middle mouse button down to pan it around, or I could even just grab a branch here and move it like so. Okay, when you're done, you click on one of the branches. Watch this. If I actually had a part out here, the part would turn kind of dim out a little bit, just like this is. The whole part would sort of dim. Right, so I hit that, it brightens back up. If I rotate around, my plane system moves now. Everything's back in order, okay? So I think actually because of that, I'm going to stop this video right now, and I'll make this one about just sort of the setup again, right? So this is just about the setup of our assembly tree and a little bit about this specification tree manipulation.